if you are listening to this, if you want to watch the video version, please consider joining my Patreon. If you are seeing the video version of this, please, thank you so much for being a patron. Patreon links are down in the doobly-doo or at patreon.com/HIMedia. Now, on to the next preface, because we had to have two separate videos, like with asterisks. Just it's there. A lot of emotions are present here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the review you're about to watch is going to be very critical of this game, but we're critical of it because we love it. Darktide is the by far the best 4-player co-op horde shooter on the market today in terms of like actual feel, atmosphere, and gameplay and coordination of the gameplay. It has its issues, but the actual core mechanics of the game and the actual world you're existing in is stellar and is definitely worth a play, whether it's the $40 purchase or you do it through Game Pass. We both, me and Brian here, really love this game, but we are going to be dunking on a lot of aspects of it very, very hard. Not because we dislike the game, not because it's a bad game, but because it's like your favorite sports team. You dunk on your favorite sports team and the players and the coach and stuff, not because you hate it, your sports team, but you want it to be the best, and they keep fumbling balls left and right. So, off the rip, go buy the game. Go play the game. It's an awesome game, and it's probably if I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to hold off for a few months while they push some bug fixes.
Long story short, please don't let me and Evan's opinion impact you and your decision-making ability on purchasing or playing this game. Support Fat Shark, and please support Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. We appreciate y'all.
Not only that, because this man's got a level 25 character, and
please, I need new players.
So, with that being said, on with the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to I Can't Shut Up Unless You Tell Me To. This is going to be both an audio and a visual podcast. We will make sure to read all things on the screen, so audio listeners aren't shit out of luck. I am joined today by the illustrious No.2, otherwise known as Brian Ortega, otherwise known as No.2 Brian, and we have been playing we've been playing a lot of Darktide, not together necessarily, but we have been playing Darktide quite a bit since its release. Brian more so than me, and I am well overdue for a review. As you can see by some of the sticky notes back there, I've got some of my thoughts, and I've been trying to get this out for a minute, and I figured there's no way I'm going to be able to play this enough to get it out within a month. So I thought, let's come together like Voltron and get it going. Brian?
Okay, so Darktide award.
I'll say you're. Oh, so we're just hopping right into it. I thought you were going to say hi or some shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what's up, guys? Sorry, I've been playing.
Also, send that photo to me through Discord.
Gotcha.
Because it's being a pain in the ass on Messenger.
Stupid question, I know, but how do I get to the chat from?
So you can just go tap the side screen where it says direct messages, and then tap on mine, and then it'll bring you back to the text box on mobile.
I got you. Thank you.
No problem. And then you can just go click back to call or something.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah. So for everybody listening and watching who are understanding, we're doing this through Discord. And Brian doesn't use Discord, like, ever. So I am helping him I'm helping him use it. I'm hoping that at some point in the future I can turn him into a Discord convert.
I will also take a screenshot of the actual thing and post it in the chat.
Yeah. It's the open letter image, right?
Yes, I'm posting that right now.
Okay. But yes. So let's start with the description. So I feel our places on this. I am interested in Darktide less for like less about it's I care about the gameplay obviously, and I find the gameplay to be a lot of fun, and but I'm also like a big fan of like Warhammer 40K's lore and its atmosphere. And
Real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to catch people who might not know what Darktide or any of the shit is that we're talking about.
yeah, let's do that. It if you would like to describe it, I'd say it's Left 4 Dead meets Warhammer 40K.
Yes, it is a specialized class horde 4-player co-op online game. Long story short, you play as one of 4 classes: the veteran, ogre, zealot, and heretic.
Psyker.
So,
Psyker.
yeah,
So the veteran is a former member of the Astra Militarum, basically the gigantic meat grinder armies of the Imperium that with a casualty rate of 99%. So if you are a veteran of a army with a 99% casualty rate, that means you're a badass motherfucker. The zealot is somewhat are people who the zealot is someone who believes in the is a lighter weight bruiser that is so zealously worshiping the emperor that it borders on heresy. You the Psyker are the magic wizard casters of the Warhammer 40K universe, and
think your standard battle mages.
and your standard battle mages. You would think you might think, oh, how do they make the magic like feasible? It's surprising. It's surprisingly not complex and surprisingly deep with just using 1 or 2 buttons to make that work. It's actually kind of impressive the counterplay and stuff that they have with it. The Psyker is born from a mutation at birth that connects them to basically a alternate reality called the warp, which is also how space travel works, which is also technically hell, with like 4 super satans in it, and you get power from reaching into the warp. The problem is that the warp can reach back, and if you pull too much from the warp, you get corrupted, and if you get corrupted, you can get tainted by the powers that be in the warp, and then that is bad for your general health and the well-being of everybody around you. The Psykers also are generally either killed on sight. A handful are brought to serve the Imperium in a myriad of different ways. Most are just brought back to Holy Terra. Earth is Terra. Terra is Earth. To be fed to the Emperor of Mankind to keep basically the giant fucking beacon that he powers, which is how people are able to get around in space travel functionally, and they're in 1,000 Psyker souls are fed to him a day. That was a large lore dump. I apologize. And last but not least, you have the Ogrums, which the Ogrums that you have here are technically the smartest ones because they have intelligence chips put in their brain.
Yeah, usually Ogrins are like bumbling idiots. Most of their names are only 1 syllable.
Usually they have the mental capacity of 5-year-old children. And a lot of times, like, Astra Militarum battle commanders who are usually like will shoot a soldier that doesn't do an order right, let alone immediately, will coax and talk to them in a child-nice-like manner to get them into like big machines to move them around because they're scared and claustrophobic. So it's like so the Ograms that you're dealing with here are like the cream of the crop as far as Ograms go, and they're still big dum-dums. So
yes,
but to compensate for that, they're about a size and a half of a man, not as big as a Space Marine, but but still very, very strong, and they want to protect the Littlins. And the only last thing I'd probably say about them is they're not a mutant. They are just a kind of alternative human. It is a mutation. They have mutations that are not so offensive to the sensibilities of the Imperium that they are murked for existing, but not so human that they don't have other usabilities. So yeah, they're not like psychers, which are like killed on sight usually.
The only other thing I want to bring up for the audience to know is
Mm-hmm.
that this game is not produced by the usual makers of Warhammer 40,000 games.
That's a good
They're the
thing.
same. They're the same makers of Vetramind and Vetramind 2.
Vermintide.
Vermintide, sorry.
Vermintide. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
One
You're
and
good.
two.
It's a weird ass name. I had to learn the pronunciation myself. The Vermintide games are basically, imagine Darktide, but like with you know how like the melee combat is kind of fucking stellar in Darktide.
Mhm.
No, imagine an entire game with that, with bows, magic, and broadswords.
Yeah, it's like a medieval version of it.
Yeah, essentially. Um, so those are the classes, and it's a Left 4 Dead style game where you have special enemies, a lot of special enemies. I think they count as like 22 special enemies, and not including big demon lurkers and shit you have to fight from time to time. Um,
They have
and
monstrosities, which are kind of like mini bosses. They feature bosses in the game depending on the type of assignment you go on.
given it's a Left 4 Dead game, of the the chaos demon lord that you're fighting here is Nurgle, so lots of slow moving but semi beefy enemies, with lots of pestilence, a lot of poxwalkers, which are zombies. All interesting. You might get like minor like small, like really weak minor demons, because the power, like they've handled the power scaling here, like okay. It's not perfect. Like the fact that like minor demons even show up whatsoever, like everybody should be dead. Like everybody should be dead technically, but they stretch it just enough to keep the game fun. Speaking of fun, the average game is about a half hour long, which brings me to my which brings me to my largest con of the game: loading screens.
Oh, yes.
To boot up this game on PC, like this is like if I'm in between meetings, I have like want to take a little bit of time to decompress at work. I'm working from home. I don't have I have some stuff to do, but I don't want to do it yet. It's earlier in the morning. I'm in between meetings. I have 15 minutes to a half hour. I'll load up a game of Empire Earth 4, set the AI to easy, ramp up in about 15-20 minutes, and be done by minute 25 at the latest. Usually I can wrap up an easy AI game in about 15 minutes. And then I can close the game immediately and get back to work, no problem. Darktide, you have to plan for this shit, because it takes at least a half hour for it to load up. And if you its timeout is like a few minutes, only a few minutes at the start screen. So if you miss it because you're away doing other shit waiting for this game to fucking load up, you have to start the whole process over again, which has been one of the biggest, like the hardest parts for me trying to stream this game, because people definitely like watching it being played. I certainly do. The problem is that like I actually have to plan for it, and you know me, I don't fucking plan my streams.
Okay, I wanted to speak on this as well, because this is a big personal con for me. I have an Alienware computer. It is one of the almost top of the line in every capacity. I also
I can attest for that. Even though he said Alienware, I've seen the specs. It's actually really good.
I
It's
customize
better
it
than
further
mine. It's better than mine.
Customize it further than the factory settings. So I also have the highest amount of Wi-Fi possible.
You cut out for a sec. You cut out for a second. You said you said you had the largest amount of Wi-Fi possible
in my area,
in your area,
and I have my computer hardwired with the Ethernet cord. It still takes me 15 to 20 minutes to load into this fucking game. And don't get me wrong, I understand that games, take load screens a little longer sometimes, especially with the grand scale of all these enemies, all these details. I understand. But it should not rival GTA 5 load screens on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, because that's where we're at right now. And a 5-minute inactive time limit, and then 5 minutes after that as a warning is insane when you are spending at least 1.5 times longer just waiting to get into the game.
Yeah. And now that being said, load times once you're actually in the game itself aren't as bad, at least in my personal experience. I find that this aspect of the game is personally for me my biggest gripe by a country mile, and it's the primary reason I don't play the game as much as I normally would.
This is your biggest gripe on this game. That's interesting.
So the reason I say that is yes, the game has some optimization issues in that regard. I've played this game. I've probably played about 20 hours of this game, and I've only hard crashed to desktop twice, maybe 3 times.
You lucky bitch.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that's just I've caught it at a good time or whatever, but that's my personal experience. As far as bugs and general jank, as far in the games themselves, I'm a Bethesda fanboy. Bugs like visual bugs like that don't really bother me that much. You know, it's like that's one like people were hollering and screaming about, what was it about fucking people were hollering and screaming about Scarlet and Violet, and all of their visual bugs, and I'm like, listen, if it's not game breaking or doesn't doesn't prevent me from like playing the game, I don't really give a shit. In fact, it's more entertaining than not. So like a lot of those
Real
bugs
quick.
of enemies like phasing through walls and then phasing back, like that shit doesn't bother me that much.
Okay, Evan, I respect your opinion because it's based on your personal,
Right.
experience playing with the game.
And it's anecdotal. It does. I don't speak for everybody.
Definitely. I just want to say my experience, because right now, just so everybody knows, I have an Ogren level 25, and that takes roughly, let's say, 2 days of like full in-game time. Like if you're doing nothing else but just playing it. There have been so many game-ending crashes and or game-ending glitches. And what I mean by this is you will play Darktide and you'll get 20 minutes into a mission and you'll be 10 minutes away.
Which by the way is 2/3 of a way through a match, by the way.
And there are NPCs, enemies, that have bombs strapped to their chest, kind of like a kamikaze bomb, right?
Mm-hmm.
They run towards you and your crew, and I have had at least 5 experiences where I am 20 minutes into a game from the beginning, 10 minutes away from the end. These bomb characters come out, blow us all off the platform, and we are all hanging off, which is considered a game-ending scenario. That is soul crushing because after 20 minutes of putting in hard-earned effort, time, maybe that I didn't have in the first place, to then be dealing with game-ending glitches like this, where it doesn't even make sense that they should throw you back that far, it hurts.
It does.
And also game crashes where your system, your internet, and everybody else's internet in that lobby is okay. It still crashes for no reason. And that has happened at least 10 times while playing. So these glitch fixes, I understand what you're saying. If they're not game breaking, then forget about it. For me, they have been game breaking. And
Okay.
that's why I'm like, they need to do better with this, with patches.
All right, so we've been dunking on the game for about 7 minutes now. I don't want I want everybody to know that this is a good game. It's not a bad game, and it's a fun game, but it's got its problems. And I just wanted, before we get into the open letter that the developer had sent out to its letter, and I've read it, 0 issues. I don't know what the community's response was, but I think this is perfectly good for me as far as I'm concerned. I did want to take a second to start talking about what we did like about the game, just so this isn't just a hate raid circle jerk,
And Evan, I'm not even going to lie to you. Honestly, I think it might be good if we include the positives first and then go into the negatives, especially ending with the open letter.
Yeah.
Okay. If I may start the conversation on positives, I really want to say the in-game gameplay, when nothing is going wrong and everything is fine, the in-game gameplay is so addicting. It's so fun. Pennants, which are kind of like the in-game achievement tracking devices, are so fun to try and get. You sadly, I really wish they added tracking. That's just a personal opinion of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But while being in the game, especially if you're playing around with other, I don't know if it works with bots, but I noticed when you're playing with actual player characters as your uh, in your group that the interactions are way more in depth. I find when it's just bots, like the dialogue will be few and far in between, and I really enjoy the personality that you get to. One thing I want to say, there is character customization in this game. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, really good. One thing that I find super interesting is the only aspect about your character you can't change is the voice. And the voice adds a very big personality to what may be
it
seen.
it is your personality, so you have to make sure that whatever personal like voice lines you pick you like, and whatever personality that comes from that you like, because you're going to be hearing it a lot, and you're going and it's in your and there's even like very specific, like the glitches aside, the fact that I have played, you know, a dozen matches and I've never once heard a single repeated like line of dialogue is real, is like in a game like it's amazing. And it and here's the thing, if there's one thing, sans gameplay, sans achievements, all of that, Darktide feels, the world feels awesome. You don't want to be in it. You don't want to exist in this world, but the world itself is dripping with atmosphere. It's dripping with a type of atmosphere that you seldom feel in any other game. And that's, I think, one of the things that Darktide has going for it compared to its like other Left 4 Dead clones, like Back 4 Blood or even Left 4 Dead itself. Like the actual atmosphere of this game blows, I would argue, even Left 4 Dead, both of these games out of the fucking water. It you know, it's like every aspect of the world, you know, and that's 40K for you. It's like Games Workshop has done a really good job cultivating a, you know, a world that is so over the top, uh, deeply thematic, and unbelievably horrifying and depressing, that you just can't help but be invested. And you know, the and the characters talking to each other feeds into that in a fairly significant way, I feel. Another thing that I personally like about the game is I find the variety of weaponry available to just me, the veteran, insane. And I've fiddled with some other classes, and there's a lot on offer for everybody. The one character that I haven't played a lot with that I really wish I could have more to see what they had to do, what they could do, is a psyker, because it feels like sci-fi fascist mage, battle mage is like, that sound looks like the traits and stuff would be really, really interesting to get through. I also really, really like the characters in the game, like the actual named personable like person characters. We generally play like a namelet, like, while the personality that we get from our voice generally, I feel, makes us make like feels less, you know, it's less, it's not like we're like just like a nameless, faceless, you know, protagonist like you are in other games. The personality of choice of your voice like helps with that a lot. But I really do, but you know, but so you feel like like an actual character and a person, but not as much as like some of these other characters that exist in the girl, like the frickin' the pilot of the extraction plane. I love her. She's fucking hilarious. And
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
also and also I love how the Adeptus Mechanicus priestess talks like with us as a group. And I don't know, it's just like the character, like the other characters in the game are really really interesting to me. Brian.
I get that. Personally, yeah, personally, I'm, I do enjoy being able to include, what is it? Specific upgradable traits to your weapons, whether it be through blessings, which are kind of like your perks for your weapons. So, just for the Ogren, just because that's my personal experience, you can get perks that give you plus 10% shield every time you hit three or more enemies on any given melee swing. Uh, if you get critical kills, you could load extra bullets into your gun. Those types of things.
Right. One of
I
the
think the
traits of
mass in that.
yeah, sorry. One of the
Good.
traits of the veteran, I think that one of the initial traits you can get is literally the less enemies you have around you, the more damage you do from a long range.
Oh wow. Yeah, and I also want to touch on I really like the feat system, which
Mm-hmm.
is the in-game perk system for your character. Every 5 levels, starting at level 5, I believe, you can choose up to 3 separate perks at any given time. You can also choose them anytime you're not in an active game. So that really allows for a lot of customization for characters deeper than just how you look. For the Ogren, for example, uh, fully charged melee swings have unlimited cleave when you reach 25. The grenade box, which is the grenade that the Ogren uses, which is just a box of grenades you chuck at an enemy.
Yeah,
If it hits a
because he's a dumbass. It's like he's like he says, throw this box of grenades at the enemy. He's like, throw a box of grenades at the enemy. Yeah.
if you hit a big enemy with it, it will actually open up the grenade box and make all the grenades explode. So, like, small little things like that are really cool.
Right. Oh, another really great thing, not to interrupt, is how the grenades work in this game. You know, like the veteran just has like a normal explosive grenade.
Evan, you cut out. Say that one more time.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't cut out on my end, but just for your sake, I said,
Never mind. Never
yeah,
mind.
yeah. So what the grenades like are so interesting to me, simply for the fact that like it's you think it's just an innocuous like little thing, but it's like the Ogren literally does what you say. It's just a box of grenades. You chuck at them for at enemies for a shit ton of damage. You have the Zealot, who I believe has a basically what was it called?
I'm looking up the
You're good.
character classes.
Yeah, I can't remember what the Zealots does off the top of my head, but the Psyker literally like will stun enemies and keep them in place, and the fucking the veteran just has a normal grenade, but like
Yeah, the veteran is the only one who has a normal grenade.
right, but it's like because the veteran's the only one with the normal grenade, like it's more important, you know, because like I will like save my grenade for like a giant like swarm of enemies and just yeet them all and explode them all in one go, you know.
Yeah, the sorry,
What does the zealot have as its
the zealot has stun grenades.
and what does the psych so what does the psyker have then?
Psyker has
Oh wait, no,
one second.
the zealot has the stun grenades. The psyker has its fucking powers that allow you to
Yeah,
fucking explode someone from far edge. And here's the thing: all four of the classes also like they technically play their own roles. Like the veteran is supposed to, you know, thin the herd from afar and thin them from up close with the grenades. The ogre
and also take out far as fuck away snipers that stop Ogrins in their tracks.
that that specifically the psychers can't reach with their grenades. The psychers are meant to take care of the special enemies in an up close and medium range format. The Ogren is supposed to fucking be the bulwark and be the first person to aggro shit, while the Zealot does cleanup. When you have a team of an Ogren, the first time I played a round of Darktide, I lucked out. I got onto a team with me as a veteran, an Ogryn, a Psyker, and a Zealot, all on the same team. Perfect cohesion, and it was fucking great because these people have been playing for a bit. I just started playing, and I'm just like, I knew what the veteran needed to do just by virtue of the class, just because I can fucking read, and it was fucking great. And so it's like, it's like how in an MMO you have different classes that do different things, but here, like, it like you don't have to play that role. But if you do play that, I mean, certain, like, the Ogrins are still gonna fucking go because they got a shit ton of health.
No. What I wanted to say was also every class comes with a passive ability. Ammunition being replenished as you stand in coherency with your group.
Yep.
Just standing close to them. I know the Ogrin increases like damage resistance and damage output. I think either the Zealot or the Striker.
Psyker.
Sorry. Either one of those two includes like health. The other one does something else. So it's like if you are standing together as a full-on squad, even if they're somewhat further away, as long as you're in coherency, you will be getting passive traits replenished, the whole 9 yards.
And that coherency mechanic where you gain toughness, which is basically your fucking shield, where you gain that when you're around other players. I love that because it fucking discourages people from going off and doing fuck all on their own. Because even if you're high, like can go off and do fuck all on your own, like, you can't do this shit by yourself.
And further into the game, the Ogryn actually gets continuous perks to increase the range of the coherency. So that's one thing I like about him.
A quick question, completely unrelated. What platform do you play Darktide on?
So, I play on Game Pass,
we should play together sometime.
Yes. Now, last benefit I want to talk about, and then I want to get into this open letter in the community.
Yeah.
I really like the health system in this game. The health system is as follows. As you go through the game, you continue to gain. In your health bar, you will continuously see a purple bar take over where your health should be.
Now, this is if you're in the map too long.
I thought it was also if you get down, shit like that.
It is if you get down. It is if you. But they're also like if you're. They're also like you've been here a hot fucking minute.
Yeah, and also if you join the game late, sometimes you will just already have it.
Yeah.
The only way to get rid of this, what is that called? Do you know? Corruption, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's called corruption.
Yeah. So more and more corruption you gain as you play. And the only way to get rid of it is through Medicare systems or stations.
Which are basically poor fucking bastards who have been lobotomized and attached to machines as a servitor to heal you. If you actually sit by and listen, sometimes
they're so creepy.
They're so fucking creepy. Well, I mean, the fucking thing the skull you put on a machine to like calibrate it or whatever during missions. There's a living brain inside of that shit.
They just take away the ability to speak. But yeah, sometimes this thing will just gain sentience and it'll be like, I'm here. It's so cold. Help! I'm in so much pain, and you'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's fucking. Well, welcome to 40K. Like
I know.
We're like the Imperium of Man who we're a part of is the most the most bloody and most authoritarian regime in existence.
So I want to ask you a question on something. Where do you land on how they do the plasteel and the upgrading materials? How do you feel about that? I do not personally. I don't like that you have to rush in front of other players to try and get a chance to get it.
Is that, and I'm taking that's like the chance to drop premium currency, right?
No. The way you get premium currency, at least one of the premium currencies, is by doing weekly challenges. But I'm talking about like the
Upgrade
crafting
mats.
material. Yeah, the crafting material. So like I think it's dynamite steel and something else. And you'll get them as part of end game
But
currency
you could
payout.
also get more by like rushing in front of people and getting to it. Okay.
I just
Uh,
wish
uh,
that it
uh,
was shared.
yeah, obviously that's not okay. I think it would be cool if it was a case of there's like a chest and you have to like everybody has to go pick it up themselves, and if you in like that's another adds another element of like using the ping system and communicating with your teammates and stuff like that. If one person, first person to get it gets it, because like then
Yeah,
like because like if you have to compete against your teammates, that ruins the fucking game. Because what's great about Darktide is the fact that like teamwork just feels seamless to do in the game. Like even when you're playing with randos.
see, my experience has been randos who were just constantly searching for loot, who were just running far further than you should, looking for crafting materials to upgrade their weapons. And that just destroys the, continuity of the game because
Well, also it makes it
you
more likely so everybody's gonna fucking die.
yeah, because you'll have like two 25 level motherfuckers who are all the way in the back, and then like two 5 level fuckers who are all the way in the front trying to get all the crafting material. And you're like, yo, y'all are going to die first. Come the fuck back here.
I get that, and it's a whole fucking thing. But for me, it's like I haven't experienced that as much because like I'm sub 10, so I have just been enjoying like the gameplay experience. I do feel like I I personally wish that gunplay with the las gun especially felt more like meaty. You know, I haven't.
I won't lie to you. Playing as the Ogre, the only weapon I consistently enjoy is the chain gun. I hate. I'm saying this right now. If you play Ogre as a new player, I despise the grenade launcher because it does not explode on impact. I despise the. It's like a Ripper gun, which is a 3 shot shotgun, and it feels horrible because it makes you immensely slow for no reason. And what's it called? When you shoot, you feel like you don't do anything.
Right. My thing is that almost all of my biggest problem with some of the veterans guns is they feel really good to shoot, but like unless you line things up perfectly. My thing is that if I shoot a poxwalker with a las gun, I should at least. I feel like if I hit it in the head, I should at least take the head out of something behind it too. I like
Okay, yeah.
I feel like that if I'm hitting a skinny fucking poxwalker that used to be a peasant that was malnourished, I feel like bullets should be able to go through a couple of them. That's my only real gripe about it is that they feel great, no complaints. It's just I wish that there was like there was more penetration with the
Okay.
guns. I will eventually I'm gonna get to the bolt. Eventually I'll get the bolter, which is literally just fucking rocket like fucking bullets with like bullet sized rockets that you're just shooting at motherfuckers,
Nice.
which is gonna be great because I'll just clean up. But
Real
yeah,
quick.
yeah,
Let's get into the matter, but quick pause. Let me just run to the bathroom.
yeah. Hey everybody, I hope you're liking the podcast slash video as it is right now. If you want to support the show and if you like what I do here at High Media, please consider taking a look at the merch I've worked very hard on and I've put together at HIMediaMarketplace.com. I've got a bunch of little inside jokes with Yu-Gi-Oh! An Irish celebration of the passing of the Queen, some bottom Lego tomfoolery, and a bunch of other little jokey shirts. I'm currently working on a new design right now. If you want 20% off of anything here, please consider joining my Patreon. All for being a the $5 friend here, along with a free trial, gets you 20% off anything in the store. There's a free trial for this, by the way, so you don't have to pay anything to get that 20% off. But if you stick around, you get access to early videos before they're released on YouTube, exclusive content just for patrons, journal entries, some light journalism on my part, among other things as well. All of which can be found at linktree.com/HIMediaTV. You can shop merch directly from this link, as well as find our TikTok, our YouTube, our Patreon, and join our Discord community, that is, I believe, now 125 strong, where I would love to talk with you more. Plus, patrons also get access to exclusive Discord roles and many, many more perks. So thank you so very much for supporting the show. Now let's get back into it, shall we? All right, everybody. Brian's back from taking a hot shit.
What's up?
All right, so we've talked about a lot of the things we liked about the game. We've talked about a lot of the gripes we've had with the game. And one of the things that we haven't really touched on, I think, just to address them real quickly before we get into the open letter, because it's pertinent, is the cosmetics, which we're working. I think like even that system was bugged as well. The cosmetics were priced relatively absurdly, in my personal opinion. I generally.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Just, are you talking about the in-game cosmetic using the coins, or the in-game cosmetics at the other counter?
The ones where you have to pay real money.
Got you.
Yeah, because I'm of the mind, like, I don't understand, like, and this is just, and not to make this a whole larger conversation, I don't understand why cosmetics for in-game video games have to be $8 for like a hat or some shit. Do you pull from another game, Elder Scrolls Online? Elder Scrolls Online is a MMO that does a really good job of giving a shit ton of free content, or you pay for an expansion and it just gives it to you, and like there's a lot of shit to do. One of the places where it kind of drops the ball, even though it has plenty of like free options for cosmetics throughout the thousands of hours of the game, if you want to look a certain way, there's plenty of free options to look the way you want to look. If you want to look like, if there's certain outfits that you have that are only purchasable with real world money, and they cost like a outfit, like a normal outfit might cost $10. It's absurd. If you want to buy a house, it can cost anywhere from $20 to $50 to $100+. Like, why are microtransactions so fucking expensive? There's no reason for a couple cosmetics to cost the same amount as the fucking game itself you paid for. So that being said, I'm fine with cosmetics in games. I'm fine with microtransactions in games, but like, I shouldn't have to fucking, choose between groceries and a fucking, cosmetic piece in a game. I just want to like look the way I want to look and not spend $30 fucking to do so. Let me pay $10 and let me get an outfit and a couple gun skins to like look like the badass I want to be.
To just piggyback off of this comment, I think as long as it's remaining cosmetic, it shouldn't go further above $5, because it's not like it's increasing your likelihood to win the game. It's not giving you any benefit, any edge. It's all strictly cosmetic, and there are 4 separate classes in the game. So $5 per character is half of the game's price, and you get all of the premium content for a full $60 price tag.
Right. Even if you hired a 3D modeler and their salary is like what, $80K a year, and so they get about $1,000 a week, even if like you had to spend technically $1,000 of company money on that person's salary to make this one piece of content over the course of a week, Like if you sell it for $1 or $2, like the outfit, you're going to like and you have a game that has tens of thousands of people, you're fine. Even with a sales funnel, people are going to pay that over a long enough stretch of time. You'll make your fucking money back. And it's just I personally feel like if I'm more likely to spend money on a cosmetic item if it's a couple bucks. Like I have no problem spending a couple bucks on a mobile game. I do have a problem spending $5 on a mobile game. I can justify 5 cosmetics for $5. I can't justify one cosmetic for $5. So, with that bit of a tangent aside, because we didn't really talk about the cosmetic issues with the game, like in terms of like the premium currency, which didn't really fucking work either. I feel like that part was broken too. More arguably, I felt like more broken than other aspects of the game, which I personally appreciate because that tells me like the dev time for bug fixes was going to places that fucking mattered. But I digress. Fat Shark noticed that people were not happy because people were telling them they weren't happy, and they put Fat Shark put out an open letter, which I will read to you now for all the audio listeners as well. An open letter to our players. We take enormous pride in our ability at Fat Shark to deliver a game that millions can enjoy. This was what we set out to do with Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, to create a highly engaging and stable game with a level of depth that keeps you playing for weeks, not hours. We fell short of meeting those expectations. Over the next few months, our sole focus is to address the feedback that many of you have. In particular, we will focus on delivering a complete crafting system, a more rewarding progression loop, and continue to work on game stability and performance optimization. This also means we will delay our seasonal content rollout and the Xbox Series X and S launch. We will also suspend the upcoming releases of premium cosmetics. We just couldn't continue down this path knowing that we have not addressed the many feedback areas in the game today. Thank you for playing and providing feedback. We really appreciate it. It has and will continue to help shape the game we love. Martin Walland, CEO and co-founder of Fat Shark. So before you go on your tangent here, because I know you are much more in the community than I am, Brian, I do want to say a couple things. The first paragraph where they say Warhammer, their goal was to make Warhammer Darktide a highly engaging game with a level of depth that keeps you playing for weeks on hours. I feel like they came close to that. If they had given this game 6 more months to cook, we probably wouldn't be having these issues right now, and that we probably would be on our way to having seasonal content, maybe a DLC, which would be or it probably wouldn't be a DLC. It'd probably just be an update, which like new maps and stuff to go check out for whatever reason. But generally, I feel like they're close because Fat Shark they made Vermintide, good games, very good games. So they're not hack developers that don't give a shit about their audience. Like they wouldn't, so. That's one thing I will say about this letter. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because this is the first fucking it's not even a stinker, but this is their first fuck up, I feel, as a studio personally. They are going to address the feedback, which is good. Complete crafting system. I didn't even realize there was a crafting system that was like absent, but cool. I personally think the progression loop is fine, but obviously if they're saying it, that means enough people were not happy with it, so fair enough. And good game stability and performance. I'm bummed about the lack of seasonal content because I love more reasons to boot up the game and play, and it's a bummer we're not getting it. We're not gonna see like some silliness with like just seeing like a fucking Valentine's Day zombies with big like mutated heart things that we can pop for like extra points or something. Like I don't know, it'd be fun or whatever. But it's a bummer we're not going to see anything like that. I'm also sad for the Xbox players because you and I play on Game Pass, and we're like there's an entire segment of like the Game Pass the user base that is just not gonna experience this game, which is a fucking shame. Bugs aside, I do think people should still play it because it is a absolutely wonderful experience to play when it's working well, and it's a bummer because it's just more people like it's just we as Xbox Game Pass players don't have as large of a user base as Steam, and I don't know about you, but I'm desperate to play with more people. Also, and good, they're suspending the upcoming release of premium cosmetics. They probably should have put that shit at the top, saying, "Hey, fuck these cosmetics. We fucked up. Let us fix our problem. We want to make a good game for y'all." But I'm glad they said it. Continue to pass. I don't really have anything else to say. Like generally, I'm glad that they did this, and one thing I will say about this letter is it doesn't have a condescending tone. It's very humble, very it's not using any of those like, oh, we didn't. They say what they said they said like they said they fucked up. A lot of gummy companies will say, "Oh, we didn't meet players' expectations. We didn't meet. We didn't. There are aspects of our game that players are unhappy with. Like they owned up to the fact, which EA, Activision, Blizzard, none of the rest of them ever fucking would. So I got to give credit where credit is due there for actually, atoning or not atoning, but owning up to their issues. So I've said everything I'd need to say about the open letter. Brian, go ahead.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Obviously, I want to appreciate how well you read the letter, number one, and then also nuanced approach, because you and me come from a very, I want to say a special case, because especially with me, I only paid $1 for Game Pass to experience this. It was my first month ever getting Game Pass, so I didn't have a big financial hit.
I
You
make
didn't have a big financial
I make $90,000 a year. $15 for Game Pass ain't gonna bother me.
Exactly. Neither me or Evan purchased the game full price. That's
Right.
the first thing.
I did purchase the game full price, and then I found out most of my friends were playing on Game Pass, and I got a refund for the game on Steam.
And that brings me, I'll bring that point up also, but I want to go to a little bit of a timeline here.
Mm-hmm.
Vermintide 1 came out quite a few years ago. Vermintide 2 came
we
out.
were still in choir.
Vermintide 2 came out, I think, either pre-COVID or right around COVID hitting.
No, Vermintide 2 came out like 2016, 17, maybe 18. Like it came out like a few years before COVID.
Okay. This is not Fat Shark's first time as a publisher creating this type of game. This has been the third game with a third rocky start. Vermintide 1 and Vermintide 2 both had rocky starts as well. I personally do not know. I was never a Warhammer fan until Darktide. This is my first Warhammer experience. But I have gone back.
To be fair, I actually didn't know that. I just know that people generally love the Vermintide games, and so
now it's good.
Yeah,
now.
I just presumed that they were like relatively okay at launch. That was
So
my
this-
that was on my that was a no on my side. So my bad.
Oh, good. Again, these are personal opinions. This is not anybody's definitive opinion on anything.
Right.
But given this experience from players of Warhammer who have been with the series for years, imagine this, Evan, if you may.
Mm-hmm.
You purchase the game on Steam because you believe you and your friends want to continue to build your Steam library, and you want to play this new game that you have always played. Your friends, though, let's say you have 4 friends total, including you, your 3 other friends who may play those other classes who you're going to play this game with,
right,
have now gotten the game on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
You are, in some ways, are fucked unless you ask for a refund, because what is insane to me, there is no cross-play enabled. It is 2023. If it is not a separate system, because cross-gen is still a fucking issue, supposedly.
But that's not an issue on PC.
If you are playing on the same console across the board, there is no reason you should be alienated from another sect of players. That is, it's irreversible.
So
From the
so so so
perspective,
so I, so here's what I'll say. We have Origin. There's Origin. There's UPlay. There's GOG. There's Steam. There is Game Pass. There is the Epic
just
Game
say,
Launcher. So I want to be clear that
one
it
between Game Pass and Steam, if nothing else.
right. So which because Steam and Xbox seem to be the most willing to like play nice with other publishers. But the point is, I'm saying is that most AAA games have that crossplay on PC. I Fat Shark, from what I'm aware, isn't a AAA studio. It's a AA studio, and I don't and there's no seamless, intersection with these services. You have to manually do that, and I'm wondering, to give the benefit of overwhelming doubt, if Fat Shark, dealing with the networking issues that they currently have, were just like, we're not trying to like throw a monkey wrench in this shit. Let's get this shit working independently first.
So this brings me to another point, and this is more a gripe on the game industry as a whole, the video game industry as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Keep it concise. Keep it concise.
There are way more players who appreciate a finished game being delayed as opposed to a rush game being pushed out.
Right.
Do not get me wrong. There are players who are going to be disappointed regardless and may never play that game anyway. Who cares? For the mass majority of gamers, they want a full, finished experience. They do not want to pay premium dollar for early access. And that is what this game is. In Vermintide, there's a crafting system. In Vermintide 1 and 2, there's a campaign. In Vermintide 1 and 2, there are breakdowns of your specific character's kills, points, the whole 9 yards. There is none of
There's
that
depth
in Darktide. There is none of that. There's only total enemies killed from the group and how long the game took and your payout. Also, I do not know how you feel about this, but this game is run completely on RNG, and I despise RNG because
how,
you
how,
can
how's,
put.
how is it run on
I'll
RNG?
explain. No problem. I'll explain perfectly. A gun that you have upgraded for 5 levels straight will immediately be outdone by a basic level weapon just by points alone. Your weapons do not stay consistent as you continue to level. They stay at the same, roughly same damage, same specs, and there is no real way to increase damage, to increase, you can only enhance them. And the enhancements are completely random. There is no way to keep, let's say for a gun, right? It has a perk with 4 extra bullets in it. Okay? At the end of the day, that doesn't help with damage. At the end of the day, that doesn't help with going from one enemy to the other with a bullet. These things matter in the grand scheme of the game, because if I have one weapon that is purple rank. It goes gray, green, blue, purple, orange, right?
Right.
If I make a weapon that's
When
purple,
in Borderlands lingo, when Grandma burps, Patrick obeys.
exactly. And when I have a purple weapon that is under rank critically compared to a gray weapon that is wrong. It's horrible. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I shouldn't.
It sounds like Borderlands 1 generation. I remember one time when I was playing a Roland character on the PlayStation 3, I found a dinky little revolver that was generated in such a way that literally, and like all the way up through this, like the second playthrough, I was just one-shotting fucking everything that wasn't a boss with it.
And here's my thing. If you want to make it every like 10 levels, then your weapons start to become inferior. Fine, because I put so much effort into these weapons, but hey, I'm
So
10 levels
this is
higher.
what they were talking about when they said the progression loop was borked.
Because you literally have to sit at the market hour upon hour when they refresh and search for weapons with the highest like weapon specialty percentages, right? So
Right.
it'll be, let's take the chain gun for example. It'll be like mobility, how quickly you could walk. It'll be damage, it'll be collateral, and it'll be like first target, which is how much extra damage does a first target get versus the second, third, fourth. All of these can be, let's say every single one is at 50% and it's orange. I have spent so much crafting material on this specific weapon, right? If I reach level 24 and that's my orange and I got it at level 24, by level 26, it's no longer right. It's no longer doing the job. And this is why I feel, especially given how what level I'm at now, this is what sucks about a game that's always online and is having an issue with the community. I'm a level 25. I have not played a single game since level 20 with 20 level characters. Everybody now is under level 20. So if I tried to do a third level, fourth level, or fifth level matchmaking match, I'm going to fail consistently because there are only lower level players right now. On in terms of the community, a lot of these concerns have not been heard. This blanket statement is too little, too late. Not that they are not taking accountability. They are. They have said we failed in trying to meet our expectations. A lot of game companies wouldn't do that, so yes, they get kudos. However, after you have months of radio silence about crossplay specifically,
Well,
to not even
it
include
it,
that.
it, it two when 2 months specifically. The game released on the 30th of November.
Yeah, so to not even discuss the idea of crossplay, they talked about everything else, including premium content, premium cosmetic content. So
So I'm gonna extrapolate from my experience as a developer here.
go ahead.
When I'm building something and it's buggy as shit and I can't figure out how the fuck to fix it and I'm trying to fix it, bringing in this other thing and having that also interface with that at the same time I'm trying to fix these bug fixes usually causes more problems that makes the actual solution. So I get where you're coming from with the crossplay.
Real quick, Evan, I just want to say on your point, not that they should have included it. They should have included the idea in that
You're
message
saying they
to the
should.
player.
You're saying they should have mentioned it, saying we're, and then they should have said after we fix the bugs and shit, we're going to work on crossplay. Okay, fair enough.
Exactly like they did with the Xbox, right? They said, "Hey, we're going to push that release a little further while we work on what we have."
Which to be fair, the fact that they said they would
I
do that
like
is I
that.
like
I
it too
like.
because they're shelving potential money because not everybody's going to get Game Pass. People are going to want to actually buy the damn thing on it as well.
And in that front, it seems like they're saying, "Hey, we don't want you guys to be on the hook for premium content for a game that's not finished, and we also don't want to release another game that's not finished on a separate system." Those 2 points I do agree with. I'm not mad at them for, delaying these things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of there is too many people in the community who feel like their voices have not been addressed or heard,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that it's just too much of a vague statement to be like, hey, we admit we fucked up and we're going to try and do better. It's a little too late for that in terms of the people who have already spent $40 on the game on Steam, who can't play with people on Game Pass, who thought they can, and now can't get a refund for whatever reason.
Right.
Because
Because they
I
spent
know.
because they binged it for 7 hours because they were in love with the game, and so here's kind of where here's what I'm thinking at all of this. I get where you're coming from, where you say too little, too late, and at the
But also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but last thing I just want to say, and then I'm finished with
Mhm,
like speaking on the community stuff.
mhm.
The only other thing is The game breaking glitches and or game ending scenarios that I personally have dealt with and a lot of people whose comments I've read have been dealing with, that is a glaring issue that should have been really focused on between the time of the beta to the time of the official release, if nothing else. I'm finished. Go
Fair
ahead.
enough. All right. So I I've played a lot of games that have had borked launches and are now regarded as are now generally beloved for a variety of reasons. Some of which are the gold. One of which is the gold standard in No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was radio silent for a fucking year after their launch. Darktide came out 2 months, and they said they were going to work on, and they're going to push stuff away, and they're going to fix it with updates and stuff like that. So, I get that some might feel it's too little, too late, and that's completely valid. But what I will think is going to happen is come this time next year, we're going to have a stable game, and probably a content release, and more content is going to be added to the game by this time next year. Because I think because yes, there are going to be people who will leave the game and probably never pick it up. I still run into people who ideologically refuse to play No Man's Sky, even though it is the best $60 one of the best $60 you can like pay that you can buy and like just be able to like have play a shit ton of content. It's great. Um, Same thing with Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is another one. You basically pay for it once, and you get there's a shit ton of content. My buddy my coworker has been playing it in nonstop. He's max level now and he's geeking. I think that Darktide is way too good of a game and way too good of a potential game that there's going to be a critical mass of people leaving it to where it's completely abandonware. I think that what's going to end up happening is a lot of people are going to leave the game for a while, myself and you two included, and then we're going to come back in a few months when they drop their like seminal patch or whatever and seminal like new like relaunch like Realm Reborn, One Tamriel, fucking whatever, like Wasteland, like whatever the fuck they've dropped to like as an announcement and as an advertisement to like get people to come back to the game. New people will come back. People like myself who didn't experience the initial No Man's Sky launch came back 3 updates later after seeing it like at a discount, and will have no recollection or no frame of reference of what the game was before, and they'll just experience how good Darktide can be. I'm not, and now I say all these to say this is what's I see going to happen because it's happened before with other developers. That doesn't mean I condone it. That doesn't mean that alpha level products should be shipped at like without being a fully fledged game yet.
Well, Evan, I'm sorry to interrupt, but your point of this happening before does not stand. I'm sorry. There is no other industry that you go and give your money to
I no,
and you are
I'm
satisfied.
not. I'm
Hold
not.
on. And you are satisfied with an unfinished product. If you paid for a movie ticket and you saw that they were still filming the fucking movie and it stopped halfway through, you wouldn't be happy.
Right,
You'd be
like,
like,
but
give me my fucking
that's
money back.
that's a conversation for another thing. And yes, you make
Well,
very
no, no,
val
no.
you
Hold
make
on.
val no, is that another conversation. This is a Darktide review,
Evan, are
not
you
a
trying
comment.
to end the video right here?
I'm not trying to end it right here. I'm trying to wrap it up in a way that doesn't trail off into a whole nother fucking conversation. We can have
No,
it.
I'm just saying, I'm just stating the opinion of just because it has happened before and just because this is the way the industry is trending does not mean that people should just be okay with this. This
It's,
has happened countless times. And I'll
it,
finish on this point. You don't have to reply to this point. We don't have to have this discussion. I just want to say this is happening across the industry. I don't want to make it seem like Darktide is the glaring example because it's not.
No, anything EA puts out is a good example. So, but the point, but here, but as far as the person listening to this, like all of that shit it doesn't matter.
Definitely play it and make your own opinion.
Yes, of
It's
course.
nothing else.
And if anything we've said here in this review has deterred you from playing it, don't. It's a genuinely good game. If you've got a PC, go grab Game Pass and play it. It's definitely worth it to play at least alone, for the gameplay alone, because it is absolutely an excellent game. And games, politics, journalism bullshit aside from that tangent, like at the end of the day, if you want to play Darktide without any of these issues, wait a few more months, let them get a couple more patches, and then go play it. And that's generally this. But that is our long-winded review of Warhammer 40k Darktide.
What's your score out of 10?
My score out of 10, I use like the Video Game Donkey Angry Joe show most critical scale of just like a 5 is average.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that Darktide has the potential to be an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10 maybe, but right now it's a 6. It's an above average game. It has got a, I would even say like I would even say maybe even a 7. But it's not a good game. It's got bugs and it's game breaking. It's got its issues, but like the fact but the reason why it's not an average game is because the atmosphere is fucking stellar. There's nothing that matches it really, like in the shooter genre whatsoever. In the fucking gameplay and in the way that the gameplay work, like the characters work together. There's Left 4 Dead can't touch it. Back 4 Blood can't touch it. Any like co-op horde shooter can't really fucking touch it. Like even Black Ops Zombies, which is a game mode that I'm in love with, couldn't fucking touch Darktide. So I'd say that's 6 out of 10, a 6 out of 10, an above average game.
I definitely want to say the gameplay itself, like outside of all my personal concerns, outside of all my gripes, I think the game as it is 7.5. I only say that because the atmosphere is amazing. The gameplay mechanics when you are actually in the game feels so great. It's so addicting. The game loop itself is really a good idea. It just needs better polish to be a better game.
Agreed. And like I said, wait a few more months and you'll get there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to if you want to interact with Mr. Brian Ortega, No.2 Brian here, you can quite literally go follow him on Instagram. Let's see.
At No.2_Brian.
No.2_Brian. I'm trying to pull it up on here. So No.2_Brian. Please let me have spelled that right. Here we are. No.2_Brian. If you want to check out his YouTube, he is live. That is the wrong YouTube channel. It'll be at the 302 perk, if I can freaking find the damn thing. It's 302 perk, which is the
PERC.
PERC. Yeah, it has nothing to do with Percocets.
I swear.
Yeah, whatever. But go follow his stuff. We occasionally do a YouTube short series together called What's on My Mind. Keep an eye out for that. And as far as me, thank y'all. Please hit the doobly-doo buttons and all of those good things. I really appreciate it. Is it working? No, because I had a freaking. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, there it is. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to follow the podcast on whatever thing you're doing, you're listening on. Please subscribe on YouTube. Thank you all so very much, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
poggers.